Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a multi-character accessory by me. So let's get into it. Scaramouche. Scaramouche usually didn't care about what people did. For the most part, they did not affect his life. But now living with someone else, caring about them, and loving them, it meant that more people affected his life than ever. Now you had to care about what people did to you, or what they felt about you. Because if someone just thought of doing something wrong to you, because if they even looked at you the wrong way, or did something wrong to you, he would be very angry and then he would have to take action. He does not like people like that. And unfortunately, especially not when they miss with his loved one. Scaramouche was already in a sour mood when he woke up. Maybe he just woke up on the wrong side of bed. Or something. You would never know what it was that ticked him off like this. But even worse, he had just saw a guy checking you out on the store while the two of you were shopping. Now Scaramouche was rightfully angry to see the way he was looking at you. And so, after a little bit of trying to tolerate it, he felt like there was no need to try. If that guy had no self-respect and no idea of the situation that he was putting himself in, then he deserved a wake-up call. And Scaramouche was very well keen on giving him one. Hey, you. The guy turned towards him, then chuckled. What do you want, kid? And from the looks of it, it seemed like he had no idea that Scaramouche was a harbinger at one point. Of course he wouldn't. But he was more than willing to teach him how powerful he was. Because in a second, he was lifting him up, holding him by the collar, and floating with him in the air. You look at her like that one more time, and it will be the end of you. I'm not merciful nor nice. So this is your last warning. He had said very carefully, the threat loud and clear. And it was needless to say the guy had left and never decided to look back. Not when he knew very well what would be waiting for him. Venti. Venti was nothing if not forgiving, and he knew that very well. You actually would always compliment him on it, telling him that he was too kind for his own good. Too kind for anyone and everything. He thought it was adorable, but I had always denied it, telling you there was no such thing as being too kind, and even if there was, he wouldn't describe himself as such. You didn't really get why. But perhaps today would be your chance of understanding that. Venti was a lot nicer than most, and extremely kind. No wonder you had loved him. But to see someone so boldly staring at you, making comments about your body, just a couple meters away, it irked him and set him off. He tried to ignore it, and considering you didn't hear it at all, and it wasn't bothering you, you couldn't be upset about something you didn't know. But the fact that this person was so bold as to do that, and so disrespectful, it upset him on a whole new level. And, well, he was never known for holding back. That's why he had immediately turned around and punched him square in the face. You have no shame at all. Do you truly like yourself when you're like that? Look at yourself. You're a disgrace, he had told the man, spitting on him before turning to leave with you. When you looked back around, to see him slipping back onto the step beside you, you smiled at him. Is everything alright, Venti? You disappeared for a couple moments. You ask him gently, and he nods, leaning up to give you a kiss on the cheek. Everything's fine, sweetheart. I promise. There's no reason for you to worry at all. And though you would usually doubt how truthful he is, He had said it with a lot of conviction that you had no choice to believe him. And well, it was not exactly a lie. After all, you did have nothing to worry about, and everything would certainly be fine now. Xiao, when you were with Xiao, he often decided to avoid conflict when he could. He tried to be patient, tried to hold whatever anger he had back, and remain in control. It was something he prided himself on, knowing how powerful he was, and how not to abuse that power, and how to perfectly keep himself in check, especially when the two of you were going out together, and you wanted nothing to ruin your evening. But even with all of that, he too had his failures and his shortcomings. And maybe today would be one of those days he sees that. But you truly couldn't blame him. After all, how could he help himself when he saw someone looking at you in such an unfavorable way that he found himself seething from the inside, angry that that man could look at you in such a way, so disrespectful, and yet so hungry, desire very clear in his gaze. Damn it. Humans surely had the audacity that he lacked sometimes even with you, even knowing you were partners. But those people, they had no limits. And Xiao, though he usually was patient, perhaps today would be the day he discarded that and taught that man what limits are and what respect truly means. He had hit him at first, no explanation, nothing, just staring at him as he fell to the ground. You could only stare from a distance, anxious, not sure whether or not to reach out. But you had by the end, because apparently the man's response to what Xiao did was not very good, and Xiao was getting angry. You had wrapped an arm around him, holding him close. Xiao, let's just get out of here. Please. No, Ion. You leave, and leave him to me. I will deal with him. That's all he had said, giving you a firm indication that you need to leave now, because things were about to be a little bit different than usual. You had left, and once he was back, he gave you a soft kiss, something he almost never does in public. And you had dared not ask what happened to that man that night.